A big thank you to Paradox Interactive for sponsoring this video. Let me be real with you, when Paradox came to me about sponsoring a video, I originally planned to do a tips video discussing various technical and inspirational tips for using the region pack assets. If you want to see a video like that, please let me know in the comments. But then I started playing with the US Northeast pack and was absolutely punched in the gut with familiarity and schmaltz. Instead, I'd like to take you on not just one journey today, but three. Storytelling is best done in threes after all. Gang, nostalgia is a hell of a drug, let me tell you, and three of these US Northeast assets hit me with it hard. So please sit back, relax, maybe open up City Skylines 2 and play beside me, and allow me a few moments of your time to reminisce about growing up in a place where these assets are so familiar. My first holy shit moment exploring this pack came when I placed the firehouse and headquarters. The brickwork and mixtures of it, the motifs adorning the walls, the architectural style overall is a spitting image of the fire halls where I'm from. I'm so familiar with these halls, spending so much time in them as a kid and perhaps more than your average Joe into adulthood. I grew up with a close family member who was a firefighter, and we would always go to the fire hall to clean his truck. We would park in one of these bays here, wash the truck, and I was so happy to squeegee the water down the drain. Our bay doors weren't quite so ornate though, I don't think they were curved. But man, I remember feeling so cool being able to balance on this railing, but really I was just using the giant squeegee brush to hold myself up. I think I was always trying to impress the guys at the hall. Even the tiny yard they've given this firehouse lines up with my memories. Our hall had a miniature house parked in the back that they brought out for parades or school visits for teaching little kids what to do in case of a fire in their home. Cover your mouth, crawl on the floor, touch doorknobs for heat, and open doors slowly in case you're curious. Since my childhood, new halls have been built in more modern styles, but the hall I look back on most fondly is still there. Still looking just like this. It's right downtown where parades are and where I would grow up to put on the Sparky the Fire Dog costume to join in those parades, waving as kids as I walked up and down the 2 streets, maybe 10 blocks, that made up our downtown. It's from within those 10 or so blocks that my next wave of nostalgia came. All the more popular spots were really within probably maybe 2 or 3 blocks of the downtown core, but I didn't necessarily hang out at the good spots per se. I loved me a greasy, dingy watering hole. Looking at these buildings, I'm thrown back to some rather blurry nights, mostly centered around karaoke. In my early 20s, I was part of a group that frequented the karaoke spots, and I mean frequented. Monday nights were spent at the nicest place, and nice here really just means a burger joint with an area cleared out for the karaoke crowd and tables outside. Wednesdays were at a spot just like this, and let me tell you, it was an absolute dive. Their stage had a pole, if that helps you picture the vibes. It was so gross, but we loved it. Fridays were the best. Fridays were at a spot that really wanted to be a sports bar, but was also just kind of a dive next to the laundromat at the far end of downtown. It was the best though, stumbling distance from home and always the loudest, kindest old birds around to watch hockey and listen to wannabes like me sing Jet at the top of their lungs. Shout out to these 3 buildings as well that are once again perfect recreations of places downtown. If we were out until closing and needed a poutine, the place to go was in a building just like this. It had that bay window on the corner and everything. Their large poutine was the size of your head and the perfect way to top off a night at the pubs like these. These 2 pubs, I swear, were based on my hometown. This one here had the better beer and even had a table tucked out of sight and up a short set of stairs that we affectionately referred to as the Tower. So many nights spent up there playing cards and solving all the world's problems. This pub was on the opposite end of downtown as the Friday night karaoke spot, and it was where the older crowd would go. I mean oftentimes white hair old. It was a blast. My dad would go there quite a bit, and eventually I would join him, and man, these folks knew how to have a good time, dancing up a storm, not a care in the world, except to make sure everyone was enjoying themselves. Really good stuff. And what would a nostalgic video talking about my dad be without mentioning the bubble on a stick? I actually almost missed this water tower, but when I saw it, I just sat open mouth breathing as my childhood came flooding back. Now, I know I've told this story about the vanilla games water tower in the past, but apparently that was a lie. This right here is the water tower from my youth. I'm curious how many of you are still here wondering what the frick I'm on about with this water tower, and I wish I could adequately describe how core of a memory this is for me. To try to sum it up, I grew up in a part of town that was being newly developed, so our backyard was still forest. And yes, it has actually been paved over into a Walmart now. But back then, we would get deer coming right up to where the forest ended at our yard. It was so cool. We would wander around the forest as a family and always see these sticks with what looked like a ball on them. I've learned since they're called a goldenrod gallfly. It's a bit fuzzy of a memory, but one of us kids pretended it was a scepter once, and that was it. My dad hollered, "Hail bubble on a stick," and we all did the same back and continued to do so every time we found one. This is where the water tower comes in. One day, we drove past the water tower with my dad, and it is absolutely the exact same as this one here. And my dad opened up the car window and yelled, "Hail bubble on a stick." Us kids were definitely embarrassed, but we laughed, and that became the new tradition every time you saw a water tower. Our dad's long gone now, but my little brother and I still impulsively say it when we see a water tower, albeit maybe a few tones more quietly. All this rambling to make note of how much I appreciate these region packs, especially this northeast one. It may not be labeled Canadian, but apparently enough of the architecture has leaked north that its buildings evoked some candid emotion from me. And as someone whose memory fails more and more these days, I want to thank the creators for their dedication. At least for me, it paid off.